to talk to you a little bit about safety. If one of us falls out of the stand, you always want to keep one of these hats, throw this on, straight to the hospital. A deer that grew from this to a true Georgia giant. Mass. Nasty. Well, in 2009 we started seeing this goofy little 7-pointer. Saw him just about every time we sat in the stand, so we had to give him a name. We named him Crusty for Crusty the Clown, and saw him all year that year. He was just a little small 7-pointer. Going into the 2010 season, started getting pictures of him, and he had big tall brow tines, pretty good mass, and I told Joey throughout the whole season that this deer was gonna be something special one day. Summer of 2011, we started putting trail cameras out in early June. Sure enough, Crusty showed back up. We knew he was going to be something special. Had great mass, looked like he was going to split his G2s and everything. Kept getting pictures of him through the months, and sure enough, he turned into a giant 14-pointer. That goes to show you don't need to call any bugs. He was a small 110, 115 inch 7-pointer last year, and this year he grew into a 150 plus inch 14-pointer. So hopefully we'll get a shot at him this year. Crusty the Clown is going down.
Second sighting we've had with that hardpointer. It's a nice buck. Could be a good deer with a little bit of time. It's coming back up now.
Nine to 10 was a great deer last year. We knew that this deer was going to be a great deer with a little bit of time. He started out as a little simple 9-pointer last year, and we've seen him just all over the place. We've seen him multiple times in hunts, and we just knew that it was just going to take a little bit of time before a deer like this was really going to show his true potential. And coming into this year, 2010, we started getting trail camera pictures of him right early in the season, and he was surely showing himself to be a great buck. He turned into this just huge, typical 10-pointer, which just has no deductions. This deer is nearly perfect, other than the fact he just has hardly no brow tines, which is not uncommon for most of our deer. But it's a great buck. Hopefully we get a chance at him this season, and if we can see this deer from the stand, I tell you, it's going to be an incredible sight.
In 2010, Cutie was a heck of a deer. We started getting trail camera pictures of him later in the year toward gun season. One thing stood out about this deer, he was a young deer. We figured he was around 3.5. He had exceptional long main beams. His G2s and G3s were really long. And working up to throughout gun season, we had a lot of trail cam pictures of this deer. Wanting a deer we would want to go after, but it was just one of those potential deer we wanted to see what he'd become this year. Well, Cutie did this year. He grew into the buck we thought he might become. At 4.5, we got several good trail camera pictures of him starting off the season in velvet. He's a heck of a deer. His main beams grew even further. Tines grew longer. He even picked up 2 additional kicker points this year on his G2s. He's going to be a buck we're really looking to go after this year, and hopefully we'll be able to get him in the stand. Up in there, climbing up the tree into the stand with us.
Wide Load really was a deer last year that we were calling the Big 7, and for a little while we didn't know if Wide Load and the Big 7 were the same deer. We finally figured out, yes, these are the same 2 deer. And Wide Load last year, we saw him a ton from the stand. Me and my dad both had sightings with this deer, and my wife had even had a sighting with him also. And I kind of urged my wife to shoot the deer. At the time we saw him, he was a 3.5-year-old deer. He's pretty nice, you know, and I was kind of telling my wife, I want to shoot him, you want to shoot him. And I'd loved it because she turns around and she looks at me, she says, "Now that deer needs to walk. I think he'd be a great deer with a little bit of time." And I'm just like, she's already got the bug, and she's got bit by it just like us, you know, she's starting to already adopt the same ideas we have. But surely he did. He turned into a super nice buck this year. And he's just this really wide frame deer. He doesn't have a lot of tine length, but he's a real nice 4.5-year-old deer. Hopefully my wife will be out there in the stand when this deer shows up, and she'll get a chance at him because she's already calling dibs on this deer, and I guess it's on the top of her most wanted list.
deer called Wide Shorty started showing up years ago. I don't even know when he showed up. He's an old deer. We saw him just about every time we got in the stand for a couple of years there. Started seeing him a little less. Well, last year he was 5 years old, 5.5 years old, and he was one of the top deer on our most wanted list. And we saw him one time out of the stand. I was filming, Joey was shooting. 3 more steps we would have had him. All we needed was a shooting lane. He was 30 yards away, and it just didn't work out. He's got that sixth sense that the deer get when they get that old. Saw him one time out of the stand last year. He's going to be 6 this year, and we'll be lucky to even see him. It's going to take the rut, a hot doe, and everything to fall together perfectly for us to get this deer. You know, he's a big 8-pointer, probably mid 130s, but to kill a 6.5-year-old deer would be a dream.
Well, Joey's got this funny name because we named him after one of our pro staff members, Joey Tinsley. He just has always killing big 8-pointers. We just say a big 8-pointer's got Joey's name written all over it, so hence the name. We call this deer Joey. I mean, it's a big 8-pointer. And we saw this deer a little bit in the very early part of the season, getting him on trail camera, seeing him in velvet and stuff like that. But then come season, we never seen him. At the end of the season, we were running trail cameras to figure out when these deer were coming out of shedding their antlers, and we see Joey come to the camera, and he drops his antler right there in front of the camera. And I go check the trail camera, and here is his left side from last year. And this shows what Joey really is. Joey is this high-racked, heavy-framed 8-pointer. He's got good mass. He doesn't have a lot of spread on him, but he's just a real even, symmetrical 8-pointer. He's a super nice buck. We guessing this deer to be 4.5. Hopefully we get a chance at him. This is one of the deer we actually have tried to. We've kind of got a little bit of a pattern on this deer, but the area that he is in is going to be hard to hunt. There's not many trees around, so we're really going to have to take a lot of time to look at his patterns and figure out where this deer is going at different times of the day and see if we get a chance at him. I just hate to say that we might be shooting a deer, but our pro staff member's name on it might not sound right, but what do you got to do?